What's good, Humble Squad? It's your boy HumbleZiggy. So I promised y'all that reaction video to Louaista's new video, and here it is. We got Drake's weird obsession with other men's girls, and hey, he's always done this whenever he's in a especially whenever he's in a rap battle or dissing somebody. 9 times out of 10, he's not even gonna go at the guy who he dissing. He's gonna go at the girl. And even though, and hell, he even gonna go at the girl who in a way is somewhat sending shots at him, but really not really. But look, when it comes to Drake, especially with the likes of how with the Super Bowl thing that happened with Serena Williams and whatnot, and knowing that history between Serena Williams and Drake, yeah. And crazy enough, if you haven't, go check out my reaction to where I reacted to Cornerstone's how Kendrick Lamar was after the Super Bowl. The fact that with him, with Drake, I don't know why he always going, he didn't even go after Kendrick. He was when he saw that Serena Williams there on his Finista page, his, I guess, spam page or whatever, he takes a picture of Serena Williams' ex-agent or whatever, ex-manager, and I'm like, what was the point of that? But we're gonna see what Louaista is talking about. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all my socials up there, and without further ado, let's get it.
There's some lessons that people can never learn, and in Drake's case, it's almost like self-sabotage. Back when the beef between he and Kendrick was at its height, his loss wasn't something a lot of people were commiserating over. In fact, with the way that he behaved both online and away from the prying eyes of the public, there were plenty of people who felt like he was simply facing the consequences of his own actions.
Or he's a selfish, lying, manipulative sack of shit who has made enemies for 15 years, and now we're here at the fucking boiling point. You have been behind the scenes, hitting his baby moms, sending money to baby. Yo, dog, you've been back and sending messages to this wife, talking about hey, but this mom died. Hey, all that's cool, but where my beat at? I don't give a that your mom died. Dog, this been a sack of shit behind the scenes, and because he got fans and had Lucian, everybody just get to turn a blind eye.
And granted, I don't know if it's true or not, but I wouldn't be, with his type of actions, I wouldn't be saying say Joe ain't wrong when it comes to it, because especially like I said with that whole Serena thing, I wouldn't say he ain't lying, but he does raise some questions
behind the scenes, and because he got fans and had Lucian, everybody just get to turn a blind eye.
Now caught in the middle of a new feud, one that wouldn't be fought with bars but in the courtroom, Drake seems to be falling back into his old habits. By now, you'd think that he'd realize that dragging romantic partners or family into the mix almost always comes with consequences. However, it seems to only get worse as time progresses. It's your boy Louaista, and today we're going to be taking a deep dive into Drake's weird history of targeting his ops as women, whether it's their daughters, wives, or other associates. And like Kendrick said, the rabbit hole goes deep. By now, the Toronto rapper has an extensive history of taking aim at innocent bystanders on the sidelines of beef. So much so that people just see it as an undeniable fact by this point. And in his latest standoff with UMG, it turns out that his conduct hasn't changed, suggesting that he hasn't done any work.
And if I'm not mistaken, I saw where Drake posted another picture of a girl who was wearing his shirt or whatever that had the OVO, the owl symbol. If I remember, was that like Lucian Gray's daughter-in-law or something like that? It was some girl. Y'all let me know in the comments below. But yeah, like, nigga, at that point, Drake, you're being corny as hell. Like, nigga, go at the people who's dissing you. Don't go at their woman or take shots at the woman who used to be a thing with you but not anymore. Like, nigga, at that point, you're being creepy.
On himself since the last time he took an L. At the minute, Drake is rebelling against the man who was previously dubbed as his daddy by Kanye, the UMG CEO, Lucien
Lucien
Grange.
Say rich baby daddy is like Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucien and Universal.
Wow.
He's like, like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy. Drake has a rich baby daddy.
Despite Drake and his company, Frozen Moments LLC, suing Universal for defamation over the lyrics in Not Like Us, the label has refused to back down and fired back with a statement that openly mocked his claims.
Not only are these claims untrue, but the notion that we would seek to harm the reputation of any artist, let alone Drake, is illogical. We have invested massively in his music, and our employees around the world have worked tirelessly for many years to help him achieve historic commercial and personal financial success. Throughout his career, Drake has intentionally and successfully used UMG to distribute his music and poetry.
You hear that? So hold on. Run that back again, Melissa, because it's so crazy that she's reading this, but say that one more time.
Drake has intentionally and successfully used UMG to distribute his music and poetry to engage in conventionally outrageous back and forth rap battles.
Exactly. It was okay for him to use it, but it was okay for him to want to put his diss tracks out there like back to back and whatnot. It was okay for him. But now that when the roles is reversed on him, all of a sudden, it ain't okay. Nah, that's not Shaman. Get out of here with that.
To express his feelings about other artists. He now seeks to weaponize the legal process to silence an artist's creative expression and to seek damages from UMG for distributing that artist's music. We have not and do not engage in defamation against any individual. At the same time, we will vigorously defend this litigation to protect our people and our reputation, as well as any artist who might directly or indirectly become a frivolous litigation target for having done nothing more than write a song.
But rather than handling...
And it's so crazy. And you know how most people feel about how when it comes to the industry with all these music labels or whatnot, you know how most people are with it. It is what it is, right? But the fact that we all are sticking up for this time period, for something like this, the fact that we sticking up for UMG and it's UMG of all music labels, freaking the main source of how Drake gets his music out there in the world. And the main source is where he gets his money from. You gonna try to sue them, knowing damn well you've been, like she just read, you've been using them for years too in your shit.
And with the calculated restraint you would expect from a major corporation like UMG, they seem dead set on going to war, suggesting that Drake may have finally pushed them too far.
They seem like enough for you now, which is odd.
No, I don't think so.
Really? You don't think that they're tired of the brat just
I think that he might be,
and stomping his fucking feet?
We done had them conversations and the line is drawn. Yeah. Ain't no budget no more. Yeah. Okay then, nigga, it's up. Do what you gotta do. Yeah. You know how you talk to somebody like, all right, well, that's what it is? All right, well, fuck, you do what you gotta do then.
But in typical fashion, Drizzy has noted their animosity and decided to wave another red flag in front of the UMG bull. And as always, he's made it personal by dragging someone on the sidelines into the mix. This time, it's Lucien Grange's daughter-in-law, Sophia.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Taking to his alternate Instagram account.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So I was right then earlier, because I was saying he got his daughter-in-law in this, where she was wearing an OVO's merch or whatnot.
Drake maliciously shared an image of her sporting a sweater with an OVO owl on it. To make matters worse, he wiped his entire following list, leaving only her as the one person he follows. In the wake of this move, the model and mother of one has refrained from responding because, in all likelihood, she's got better things to do than to get
worry about this shit.
But ultimately, she's just being used as a pawn here, with the target of Drake's aggression being the men in her life. And sadly,
like for real, like nigga, she's not even worried. She don't even want to be concerned of it, and good on her not for being concerned with this shit. Cause nigga, the fact that when you start using other women who are taken by other men, when Drake starts doing that, yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, it's like Kendrick say, that rabbit hole go deeper and we can go down more. And we can go deeper, no Diddy, pause. But yeah, once you start to realize Drake ain't all that, once you start seeing the layers of what Drake's character is all about, you tend to realize, fuck what the music he puts out, fuck all of that. Like I always say, you are a human being first before you're ever a success at something. So once you see his characters where he's using somebody who's not even involved in this shit or don't even want to get involved in this shit, using them as a pawn just so he can get a leverage or whatever, I'm like, nigga, you need to get a life.
As a pawn here, with the target of Drake's aggression being the men in her life. And sadly, no one was the least bit surprised that he opted for this tactic, or that he's naive enough to expect a positive outcome.
Exactly.
This is why it was easy for the whole industry to churn on him. He does weird shit all the time. I'm starting to get the hint that I don't think Drake ever learned what fuck around and find out is. The reason for the disgust isn't necessarily what he's doing. After all, this is hip-hop and leverage is there to be used in battle. However,
yeah, but when you start to use it so corny where it's somebody who's not even involved in this shit. And hey, this is a good example right here. With Meek, it was Nicki. Is that your world tour or your girls tour? With Pusha T, it was her, Virginia Williams, right? Kendrick, Whitney, his fiance. And now with Lucien, his daughter-in-law. I'm like, nigga. 4 times this nigga Drake did not learn his lesson. 4 times. So you need to, if you didn't even learn your lesson the first time, and hell, even after Pusha T, when he was in the beef with him, you didn't learn your lesson then, and you still kept on doing it. Yeah, that's why people.
The problem is that it's a very pronounced.
Hey, you was right, Drake, when you said there's no friends in the industry, cause nigga, you always doing some corny shit like this. That's why they don't want to be your friend.
Pattern, and it's.
Once you start doing some dumb shit like that or some weird shit like that, you're right. They don't want to be your friends. I know I wouldn't.
And it's one that doesn't generally work out for him. Beginning with his feud with Meek Mill, the women in and around the rapper he's beefing with have always been wielded as a weapon by Drizzy. In Nicki's case, she and Drake had been friends for years. Having learned their craft together alongside Lil Wayne as his 2 leading proteges from Young Money, Drake initially seemed happy to collaborate with her man Meek Mill from Philly. After releasing Amen together the previous year, the pair reunited for Rico, and it was the line, "The girl of your dreams to me is probably not a challenge," that initially had Meek in his feelings as he thought he was low-key getting sneak dissed on his own album. Afterwards, he historically unveiled that Drake had used ghostwriters in the form of Quentin Miller, which set the stage for the most notable W of Drake's battling career. But as is always the case with the Drake feud, there was collateral damage in the form of the female caught in the middle. Initially, Drake's diss tracks like Charged Up had Nicki-based bars that were intended to belittle Meek as less than his girl as soon as the bars began.
No woman ever had me starstruck, but was able to tell me to get my bars up.
This assault kept coming on back to back, featuring.
This is what I was talking about. The way how this, I swear, and he got the nerve to saying about how not the lyrics in Not Like Us was defaming his character. Nigga, you, even with the diss track with Kendrick, you don't even, before the Super Bowl, if Kendrick never ever did this yet before, right? I'm just saying. Or even hell, go back through the certain beefs. So, have you ever seen Kendrick literally put up memes or tweets or whatever during his concert? Memes or tweets of his battle like this during his concerts or whatever. Have you ever seen him done this before? No. So hypocritical of Drake to say.
This assault kept coming on back to back, featuring lines referring to Meek doing a support slot at Nicki's shows.
Oh, your girls
Then
tour.
he inferred that the whole thing wouldn't last, rhyming, That's all fair in some ways if you didn't know Nicki, but by this time she was engaged to Meek, while Drake had been her friend for the better half of a decade. In the Philly rapper's case, he claimed that all the talk about Nicki being more acclaimed than him never affected their relationship or his self-worth.
I remember last year just watching people, everybody going against me about a diss track, and you know, I used to look at it like, yo, y'all really think this gonna stop me?
Right.
You think on telling me I'm going on my girlfriend's tour gonna stop me? Was that a
They
joke?
gonna get the money.
Because where I come from, like, you know, we come up, when you get money, a lot of guys, you end up gotta take care of girls, they ain't got nothing, they don't got no hustle into them, no hustle for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They just taking out your pocket and things like that. Was that funny? I thought that was like live for me to have a girl that like get more money than me, that do a bigger tour than me. I thought that was
I mean, literally, Jay-Z said, rent money, y'all girls, y'all don't even have my girls' money. Like, nigga, with that type of bar from Jay-Z, that's the type of, like, nigga, y'all want to complain so much. Yeah, I got money. And hey, I don't mind flexing my money. But at the end of the day, my nigga, y'all niggas don't even have my girl's money. Y'all don't even have her money. It's basically like this. I got FU money. She got no FU money. No FU money. Cause I just got the regular FU money. Nah, she gonna say no. She got that no FU money. Really emphasizing with it. So at the end of the day, you act like, honestly, I wouldn't even care too. Like at the end of the day, you think that's gonna, nigga, at the end of the day, I'm good. She good. We're both good. So you can take it, you can think I'm gonna get fazed by this? No. You know why? Cause I'm just gonna get more and more better.
You know what I'm saying? They just taking out your pocket and things like that. Was that funny? I thought that was like live for me to have a girl that like get more money than me, that do a bigger tour than me. I thought that was actually dope. Be able to wake up, go on stage with your girl, make some money, have some good loving at the end of the night. That's some live shit. I never thought that was. I was looking at that like, is that a joke where we come from? That's like live, nigga shit.
In the end, the real victim in all of this was Minaj herself, who admitted, "It doesn't make me feel good. You don't ever want to choose sides between people you love. It's ridiculous. I just want it to be over." Later, after the dust settled and Drake was crowned the winner, she opened up about just how much it hurt.
It was one of the hardest parts of my career. At the time, I did love both of them. I couldn't erase the love that I had for my team, but I also couldn't speak out, and I felt so imprisoned. And when we later spoke about it, Drake said, I wasn't worried about anything in that entire situation other than, what if Nicki takes a shot at me, then what? You know, that would have been so painful for both of us.
As well as the fact that before things got underway and diss tracks started flying, she had actively tried to prevent it.
I was behind the scenes, of course, wishing it never happened. Even prior to it happening, I tried to stop it from happening. I said, don't do that. It is what it is, you know, like, one thing I do know is that both Meek and Drake have moved on from that.
Yes, they have.
From the anger and all of this stuff.
As for her relationship with Drake, she claimed that they almost squabbled over it.
I would be lying if I said Drake and I didn't have a whole conversation about this, where I told him, man, what, I don't think, you know, because I was still in the mode of things that Meek, you know, did. And then seeing the relief that they both got from it and seeing it be so genuine, like, if you know them, you know that this has been weighing heavily on them, because it's not about who's more successful or any of that. It's just about, man, when you know that you've known someone and y'all was cool and you actually truly liked them as a person at one time, and then something small became something big, and then now you guys hate each other and you carrying that. It's something that is just, until it's dealt with, it feels horrible. Like, it just feels like it's eating away at you, you know? But no matter what you do, you gotta make sure you're not in the same building with this person. You gotta make sure that, you know, so I'm happy for them.
And while she might have been happy enough to move on, it doesn't change the fact that he put her in that situation.
And seeing that right after this brawl that, you know, at the biggest party of Fashion Week, I just felt so embarrassed. Like, this is not supposed to happen.
But the damage left behind the scenario was done, and by 2017, Meek Mill and Nicki broke off their 2-year engagement. To confirm, yes, I am single, she tweeted on January 5th, focusing on my work and looking forward to sharing it with you guys really soon. Have a blessed new year. Then, by February 1st of that year, she posted a picture alongside Drake. But it's safe to say that despite the occasional interaction, their relationship has never truly been the same. In fact, Nicki was one of the first to call out his hypocrisy, pointing out that he had no problem benefiting from his UMG ties long before he decided to take legal action against them. After feeling her Queen album had been undervalued and underpublicized by her label, she suggested it was due to her unwillingness to play ball, while painting Drake as someone who reaped the rewards of playing along with the industry. Spotify put Drake's face on every playlist but told me they'd have to teach me a lesson for playing my music 10 minutes early on Queen Radio. Even though they've been giving away my music for free for years, and I am one of the top Spotify artists of all time. Whether he held a grievance over this or something else entirely, Drake would wind up doing Nicki dirty again. After initially being announced for a collaboration, Minaj was reportedly cut from For All the Dogs. The track in question, Needle, was one she had personally requested for her own project, only for it to be claimed for Drake's album and then ultimately left unused.
You know, originally this song was going to be on his album, and it's so crazy how I always wanted it for my album.
Why is everybody still wasting their time trying to learn
petty as
HTML?
hell.
Just download Pi and move on. This Chrome extension takes 5 seconds.
Drake, you a petty.
Recently, she called him out for choosing to collaborate with
petty
Lotto, one of her
individual.
known rivals, instead of her, hinting
Lotto,
that the relationship might be beyond repair.
So, Ugly Boy 1 and Ugly Boy 2, they know they forever gonna have a willing participant because our girls are so desperate for this money.
Nicki held Drake down and didn't switch on him like everyone did during the Kendrick beef, just for him to collab with Lotto. And while Nicki fans are correct that she never actively rebelled against him or joined in to throw fuel on the fire, she also didn't make any attempt to defend him at the height of the Kendrick beef either. But it's not like she's been shy about calling out Dot as well, as when Lil Wayne was snubbed from the Super Bowl halftime show, she was quick to come to his defense. In the Meek beef, Drake picks up an emphatic victory, but it appears to have been at the expense of damaging his bond with Nicki. And if he's willing to throw a longtime friend into the crossfire, should it really be a surprise that he's kept using the same tactic?
Yeah, like, nigga, you need to tell me if I'm her and I'm friends with you. No, I'm friends with you, right? For many years. But you gonna put me in the line of fire in this rap beef between you and my guy, right? If I'm Nicki, right? If I'm your friend, why you involving me in your shit? It's between you and him. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Right? So the fact that Drake used Nicki, or basically throw Nicki in this line of fire with that, is that your world tour or your girls tour line? Yeah, like, Nicki, like, nigga, of course he wouldn't learn your lesson. Of course he wouldn't learn his lesson. Cause what? The fact that that's the crazy thing. I know this video is already going to be long, so hey, stick around. But that's the crazy thing too. With all the other girls who's involved, they probably were like relationships or whatever. Nicki was actually his friend, and Drake used her as a pawn, or you can say, between the beef with him and Meek. You used your friend in this shit. That's crazy.
But it appears to have been at the expense of damaging his bond with Nicki. And if he's willing to throw a longtime friend into the crossfire, should it really be a surprise that he's kept using the same tactic over and over? Except from here on out, it has continued to backfire, which was especially clear when he engaged in a rap battle with Pusha T. By 2018, tensions have been bubbling between Drake and one half of the Clips duo for a while. In a lot of ways, they had always been feuding as an extension of the longtime animosity between Star Trek and Cash Money. But after a succession of subliminals, Pusha formally threw the gauntlet down on 2018's Infrared, referencing Drake's ghostwriting scandal with lines like, "It was written like Nas, but it came from Quentin." And, "How can you right your wrongs when you don't even write your songs?" Without hesitation, Drake fired back at Pusha with standard battle bars about him not being authentic and generally whack. But just like he did with Meek, He took things a step further by dragging Pusha's fiance into the mix, rapping, "I told you keep playing with my name, and I'ma let it ring on you like Virginia Williams." But what he didn't realize when he did that was that unlike the Meek scenario, Drake was playing checkers while Pusha was playing chess. Which was summed up by a user who wrote, "Drake came with rap punchlines, and Pusha hit back with investigative journalism."
Yeah, aka the story of, I don't know, hold on y'all, I thought I saw something. Never mind, thought I saw something, but yeah. Yeah, you came with rap punches and whatnot, you came with bars and whatnot, but when it comes to this rap shit, hey, it's like Pusha said, I don't know what, there's no such thing as too far. There's no such thing. Literally in his version, there's no such thing as too far. No such thing. Saying that nigga, he really got in there on Drake. He really gut punched Drake and such. Yeah, you wanna rap your shit to me? He really went, you gonna really feel this one.
On the story of Adidon, Pusha let it be known that bringing his family into it in the shape of Virginia was a bad move that would have terrible consequences. Rapping, "Since you name dropped my fiance, let him know who you chose as your Beyonce." With that, Pusha sought to destroy him once and for all.
And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that fiance of him was a porn star?
Exposing that he had a kid with an adult star known as Sophie Brousseau and hid it from the world. In the process, he exposed not only what Drake had withheld from the public, but blew up the Adidon Adidas press run that was supposed to help him bring it to the attention of the world. In the aftermath, everyone knew that Push had won and he didn't feel the slightest bit of remorse. All because Virginia's name was mentioned.
All bets are off because of that. That alone causes all bets to be off.
I agree with you.
Fair game.
All relationship stuff is on the table now because he brought up your fiance. I agree.
Yeah.
Exactly. Once you and that's what Drake needed to realize. Once you involve their fiance first, the minute you even held up there, the minute when you said his girl's name out, look, can't talk. The minute you said his girl out your mouth, it's all love and war. It's all fair now. You talking about my girl, nigga? Who's your girl?
Yes.
You talking about how my girl looks? What about your girl?
As he insisted that he was trying to start a broader conversation over his character.
If Drake taps out, would you stop Push? Would you be like, all right, I'm good?
No. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna bully the situation because I feel like I think it's bigger questions now, though. I really do.
100%.
They don't have to be answered to me, but I definitely feel that there are bigger questions than the things that I brought up, and I mean that he has to answer. I really feel like they need to be answered. That's real. We talked about the writing or whatever, the ghostwriting allegations. All right, cool. We off that. Now you get to like, you know, the mimicking of the blackface, right? Blackface.
Yeah. I'm like for real. Like, why? Cause mind you, cause the way how he looked like on that, kind of looks like he was back in his days of Degrassi and such. Why the hell you had that black face and them red lips, boy? Why you had that on you? Why you had that on you? Either one, somebody manipulated your ass to put that on, or two, you wanted to put that on. Why the fuck you had it on your face?
I mean, okay, I'm not ready to excuse that. I'm not really ready to excuse, you talking multi-millionaire talk to me and you tucking a baby. Like, I'm not with all of that.
Right.
So, like, I don't even hang with my friends who have child support issues.
In later interviews, he noted his disdain for healthy relationships and proclaimed it all went back to his childhood.
Now I gotta dig deeper into who the person is. Now I gotta dig in and see, what are y'all like? What's your family like? Oh, your dad left you at 5. Oh, I get that. He never walked you to the bus stop. You're mad about this. Oh, like you parade your dad around in these weird suits. Parade him. It's clown-like. That's what I get. I get clown feelings from that.
Back then, even his current day defender Maul agreed that bringing women into it meant that anything could happen.
He said it. He Pusha put it out there.
when hold on.
Nothing is out of bounds right now.
What did Drake say about his fiance? He said her name. A wedding ring of what?
Said he was gonna make it but Push probably feels like.
Even though, wait, time out. Before y'all go any further, I've been saying for quite some time though, niggas from a different generation, like you just speaking, you can't talk about somebody's girl. Because the second you talk about somebody's girl, you have triggered something.
Yeah.
You have triggered another level in beef.
Yes.
Like I'm no longer I'm getting on the phone, I'm looking for you. We gotta talk. Like really not doing that. So I do understand that.
Yet he's done it time and time again.
Exactly. Like y'all think, and I feel like Drake didn't get that memo. Especially with the first time being with Nicki and Meek and whatnot. And after he didn't learn his lesson that first time, he wanted to. Crazy thing is, I'm not saying Meek is not like a battle rapper or whatever. I'm not trying to say that. Will he have his own? Okay. But when it comes to a Mr. Push himself, King Push, where he's nigga, you gonna talk to somebody who really you can say embodies it, who really has that type of mentality, and the fact that he went the way how you saw in the interview where he said, let me really go deeper with it. Oh yeah, you know that nigga really wants to really dissect you. He dissected you before Kendrick dissected you.
Again. After claiming the sex was average with you about Rihanna, he got retaliation from Flacco, who spit, "In they feelings over women.
Oh, yeah.
What, you heard or something? I smashed before you birthed, son.
Oh, yeah.
Flacco hit it first, son. And when Not Like Us dropped..."
Freaking that one too, Rihanna. Look, all I'm gonna say is this. Every woman Drake has ever been seen with or whatever, whether it be on a music video or on a media event or whatever, all of them now have men that actually treats them better, black or white. Rihanna, A$AP Rocky. By the way, shout out to Rocky for being not guilty and whatnot. Big shout out to him, right? Serena with her man, sorry, my fault. Freaking Nicki with her man, was with her man, right? Like Nick, and then Pusha T. Like, and the crazy thing is, Virginia Williams was not even romantically involved with Drake. But even if she was, see what happened? Like, Drake needs to realize, nigga, once a girl is already with somebody else and not with you no more, leave them out of it. But nope. He did not learn his lesson.
I smashed before you birthed, son. Flacco hit it first, son. And when Not Like Us dropped, Drake sought to hit mustard where it hurt.
Don't do it! You can still earn income while learning how to code! Janitor! There's no experience required!
No one cares.
Following his ex-wife and mother of his 3 children on Instagram. It doesn't stop there either. When getting roasted in the comment section by some random dude on Instagram, his first line of defense was to go straight for the women in his life. I just followed your girl because she's probably miserable and needs some excitement in her life.
This nigga even going after random people. So it don't even matter if it was for rappers, producers, or just random people on Instagram. You go after anybody. You can't even say this is Mr. Steal Your Girl. This is Mr. Wants to take your girl and wants to do it in front of your face and be corny with it. Because at least with Mr. Steal Your Girl is being smooth and whatnot and not even trying. This nigga is trying to steal your girl. Right in front of your face. Or trying to mock you or whatever. Like, nigga.
But while these stories are well documented, there's one instance where Drake tried to hit a rival MC where it hurts. One that only adds to the perception that his tactics are a little suspect. The tension between Mos Def and Drake is a bit unusual. In many ways, it started with Drake himself. After Complex reviewed his poetry book, he took to Instagram to fire back at the reviewer, writing, "Can you do an article where the baddest Instagram girls in the world review my poetry book? Not the head of the Mos Def fan club. Thanks." Not long after, Mos, now known as Yassine Bey, was asked about his thoughts on Drake. And the legendary conscious rapper behind Black Star with Talib Kweli and the classic Black on Both Sides didn't hold back.
Like, is Drake hip-hop? I know.
Drake is
Because we're here
pop.
for truth. We're here for
Drake
truth.
Drake is pop to me.
Right, that's fair. In the sense
yeah, I
that
did
it's
remember
charting
seeing
like
that.
pop music, popular music.
In the sense, like, if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song, so it feels like a lot of his music is compatible with shopping, or it's you know, shopping with an edge in certain instances, or.
Fair. I like Drake's music, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
Of course, I mean,
It's
get
commercial, entertaining, fun, good,
it's
formulaic music. That is.
It's likable.
Likable music, yeah.
It's likable.
As always, Drake took this
basically, and that's basically what it comes down to. Drake's music is likable. It don't have no okay, let me not try to say like it somewhat didn't have substance before, but lately it literally is like passable for work, for like hearing it in like an elevator music, or like in a, like he said, like a Target, or not even Target, just basically at a store and whatnot, like store
It's
music.
commercial, entertaining, fun, good,
it's
formulaic music. That is.
It's likable.
Likable music, yeah.
It's likable.
As always, Drake took this personally, even if most of his criticism was purely his perspective on music.
Exactly.
Soon, he took to Instagram, referring to the legendary spitter as a bohemian bucket, which is slang for crackhead. Now, thankfully for Drake, Mos is a humble and mature man. So, rather than getting in his feelings, he actually explained what was transpiring.
Drake, if you would like to speak to me directly, you can at any point. I reached out to Chappelle, asked him to reach out to you. I DM'd you. You are a very talented MC. I require more of myself and others than just talent or charm or charisma, particularly in times of urgent crisis. And what I would like to see in terms of creators or creative people in the world as it relates to our culture is for people to connect with us beyond the jukebox.
And maybe Drake should have listened, because with one quote, he actually predicted a lot of the jumping ship that occurred during the Drake-Kendrick beef, almost as if he was forewarning what would come.
You know, a fair weather friend can hardly be called a friend at all. The people who party with you, that's cool, but will they show up if you're at the triage?
Despite Mos' open and honest response to him, Drake did what Drake does and followed a woman in his life. Except this time, he picked his daughter Layla, who was born 2 months after Drake had begun his rap career with room for improvement. And yes, you're not the only one who thinks this was weird. As one user put it, Mos Def said Drake wasn't hip-hop, and Drake's response to that was to follow his freshly 18-year-old daughter.
Really, nigga? Really? Because Mos Def said you're not hip-hop, that you're pop. And it's his perspective, and he's well right in his opinion to say that. Because that, instead of responding in a mature way, you responded to... Because when I saw 2006... Yeah, I'm doing the rock eyebrow, the people's eyebrow. Because, nigga, and it's freshly 18. One more time. You follow his 18-year-old. Drake, you just keep... Because most of this shit, certain ones I know about, but like the Meek Mill one, the Pusha T one, Kendrick one, and now with the Lucian Gray one, I didn't even know about this one. The other ones I didn't even know about, like this one.
Naturally, people were both horrified and baffled, questioning how anyone would think this is a good idea. To many, it felt like yet another glimpse into Drake's warped mindset. Does he have no self-awareness, or does he just not give a fuck? When the #1 record in the world is calling you a PDF, you probably shouldn't be following teenage girls.
Exactly.
He does not see her as a person with feelings. He uses her as a pawn that he should use in order to hurt her dad. Thankfully,
Literally.
Layla hasn't
The same way, like I said, the same way how he did it with Nick. Basically like this. That initial one with Nikki. Like I said, mind you, the other girls that we're gonna see or hear from, they're just either of somebody else or whatever, and he don't really know them like that. You do with it, you use one of your friends, your lady friends, who you started your career with. Your lady, you did it with one of your, you started it off with one of your friends, your real friend, and look what happened. You damaged your friendship with her forever now. Maybe not forever, but for the time period. Yeah, like...
followed him back. Instead, she's a young artist in her own right who opened up about her hip-hop icon father.
Is Mos Def your dad? Is there any relationship between you and Mos Def, since it seems that's the most asked thing?
Yes, he is my dad, y'all. The rumors are true. No, I'm kidding. But yes, he's my dad. He's my dad.
Did you learn anything from him in terms of your approach to music at all?
I don't know. I guess, like, I kind of just always been my own, like, artist. In a way. And like that's a cool thing, because I feel like as a kid, like whenever we would just jam sesh and like vibe out, like me and him, like I don't know, I always had my own style. I always had my own thing going on, and he's always just been like, okay kid, I see you.
Admittedly, this treatment is not solely reserved for the men he has disputes with. Instead, it can also happen to any famous woman he is rejected by and their
Serena Williams.
Partners. Years back, Drake and Serena Williams had a brief fling. It began with flirty tweets like this one from 2011 that read, "I cannot wait to put it on you and make you sweat," during our match this weekend. Then, as Drizzy's stardom continued to rise and Serena remained as dominant as ever, the young money artist decided to use 2013's Worst Behavior from Nothing Was the Same as an opportunity to pay homage to Williams, rapping, "I'm with my whole set, tennis matches at the crib. I swear I could be Serena when she playing with her left." Despite Serena's claims that the relationship was friendly, the pair would be spotted kissing not once, but twice in the space of a couple of months. As they continued to appear at her matches, the pair were spotted locking lips in the VIP section of a restaurant in Cincinnati. Eventually, things went south and they parted ways amicably. Or at least that's what Serena thought. But years on, he decided to randomly swipe at her husband, Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian, on Middle of the Ocean from her loss, spitting, "Sidebar, Serena, your husband a groupie. He claimed we don't got a problem, but no boo, it is, like you coming for sushi. We might pop up at him at will like Suzuki." In response, Alexis let it be known that he was happy to let his wife's biggest supporter. Meanwhile, the internet dragged Drake over the coals. Imagine being the softest little baby in hip-hop and thinking you're coming out swinging against all these successful women who don't give a fuck about you.
Exactly. Simple as that. Being the biggest bitch in hip-hop, and you swinging at, and that's the crazy thing. You're not even swinging at the ones who are literally dissing you. You're gonna swing at the ladies. And even if one of them did say that you was not all that, you still, the point is, even if the guy you're taking shot at, you think he gives a damn? No, because at the end of the day, he got her, you don't. So what the frick he gotta worry about your ass for?
Drake is such a loser, acting like an incel. He disgusts me. Really, it's no surprise that after that all went down, Serena was happy to dance on his grave at the ESPYs this year.
Some of the best athletes in the world are right here in this room. Some of the strong...
Hold on. Before you pay for yet another app to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connect Team.
Hey y'all, I know y'all tired of the ads, but you have to deal with it.
Strongest, fastest, and most skilled people ever are right here. And if I've learned anything this year, is that none of us, not a single one of us, not even me, should ever pick a fight with Kendrick Lamar. He will make your hometown not like you.
Bam. Bam, bam, bam. There's that little fuck. Hey, well-deserved fuck.
The next time Drake sits courtside at a Raptors game, they're gonna Forrest Gump him. Sight's taken.
And of course, she did so at the Super Bowl, where she joyfully crip walked to Not Like Us in front of 100 million people.
Hey, look at her.
Another woman who can empathize with this situation is Georgia Smith, the British R&B artist who had a brief thing with Drizzy.
No interaction was between Drake and Georgia. I'd be like, he's definitely texted her at 4 a.m. saying, I need you, girl. Has he never sent you that text at 4 a.m.? Oh man, I've got Drake all wrong.
I guess he's not as emotional as everyone thinks.
He's not. He's a tough guy, clearly.
Once they broke up, Drake threw bars at her new man, Joel Compass, for having the audacity to be less successful than him on the track Jaded. I need to know how the new dude you got does the same thing I do for a living, but is less wavy. Of course, it didn't stop there, and with a sizable age gap between them, the entire song had people creeped out by its lyrical approach.
Did y'all think he wants to control her? I could tell a girl you had potential and I wanted to shape it.
No, you can. You could definitely tell a girl that. It's not gonna go over well.
I'm convinced that this is about Georgia Smith. Y'all don't judge him for getting a 20-year-old name or number tattooed on him. Come on, man, with this casual bullshit you niggas is doing.
I didn't know.
Listen to the fucking song and tell me that the shit that he's saying about a 21-year-old girl, I think that record was definitely about Georgia Smith. And
I'm glad you related.
And I think it's creepy. But y'all think it's fine, so I don't know.
I don't know who it's about.
In every case, Drake's battle strategy follows the same strange pattern, targeting people who aren't even...
Sometimes Joe Budden might be right, other times he might be wrong, but when it comes to a certain situation like this, and especially with Drake doing the shots at him on that album with him and Party Next Door, yeah. Joe, sometimes y'all need to start listening more to Joe. Granted, he do be saying some BS, but majority of the times, especially when it's something like this, he be right.
In the fight, hoping to provoke a reaction. After Pusha, you'd think he would have learned his lesson, but instead, he kept doubling down. In no time did it backfire worse than when he tried it with Kendrick. Back at the outset of the beef, Kendrick Lamar let Drake know that this was a sporting contest, declaring on Euphoria that this is a friendly fade, you should keep it that way. But instead, he chose not to heed Kendrick's warning. And across family matters in the Heart Part 6, bringing up his fiancée and mother of his kids, Whitney Alford, would be his undoing. It started out with bars like this, which made some big swipes about Kendrick's personal life. Proposed in 2015, but don't want to make her your actual wife. I'm guessing this wedding ain't happening, right? I heard one of them kids might be Dave Freeze. Followed up with, only f***ing with Whitney's, not Millie Bobby Brown's. I'd never look twice at no teenager. And Whitney, you can hit me if you need a favor. And when I hit you back, it's a lot safer. Drake even did some digging into Whitney's IG to find a comment where Dave Free commented a heart emoji on one of her pictures and then listed that as the cover art. However, as Kendrick made clear on Euphoria,
don't speak on the family, Crody. You can get deep in the family, Crody. Talk about me and my family, Crody. Someone go play in your family, Crody.
But Drake didn't listen, setting himself up for everything that followed. From Not Like Us and the pop-out to the Grammys, the Super Bowl, and even the GNX tour, the fallout was relentless. And in the aftermath, even industry vets like Exhibit suggested Drake had no idea what he was getting himself into.
I think he was severely underestimated. And when you look at the parable of David and Goliath, and you see, somebody who's, very, dismissive or very arrogant or very, feeling like, because Drake wasn't talking the way he's talking now. What we're seeing now is... Hold on.
I'm reacting. Sorry. But yeah, I said it before. After winning the battle, especially in the Hard Part 6, his energy went from to all the way up, and then it sounded so defeated at Hard Part 6. I said it before. I literally said it. Y'all can go watch my reaction to it. I literally said his energy sounds totally different than how it was during the battle. Cause that's when you automatically know you lost. And then when he was trying to defend all the stuff Kendrick was saying in Not Like Us, Not Like Us, Meet the Grams and whatnot, like you wanted to defend those, and then and the fact that he went on to say about how I'm way too rich and successful to be on no list or whatnot. I'm like, nigga, are you serious? If you have this, and then gonna say that what he said about how you predicted that shit, you predicted that, That's why his lawsuit does not make no effing sense whatsoever.
Talking the way he's talking now, what we're seeing now is what we're seeing now is the repercussions of stepping on somebody that you shouldn't have stepped to. Like, they're not even in the same class. You know, in my opinion, Drake should have just put out a massive hit for the women.
And after pushing so hard to paint a narrative that K-Dot and Whitney were estranged, her music video appearance would prove to be the ultimate death blow.
Exactly. Like, bro. Hey, shout out to No Life Shaq. Like, bro. That was the thing that sealed the deal for us, knowing that who won the battle. Cause when he was saying about how Kendrick beats on his girl, just her showing up in that video, just with that's with them just crip walking, dancing with the kids and whatnot, just with them showing that, mwah, nigga, the piece de resistance. Shout out to No Life Shaq's reaction, and boy, she was crip walking like a mug, or whatever the case may be, but either way, she was hitting that shit.
Appearance would prove to be the ultimate death blow.
The family matter and the truth.
Hey, screw.
The family matter and the truth of the matter. He was God. The family matter and the truth of the matter. He was God's plan to show y'all the liar.
Shout out Knoxville.
He was God's plan to show y'all the liar.
Shout out to Rock TV. He a fan.
And after all that happened,
man.
Kendrick kept...
Damn it. Well, why did you involve me? You could involve me in that reaction. I reacted to it. I get it that my channel is not big, but still, you could have made me be in it. Nah, I'm kidding. But yeah, once I told you, look, like I said, once the minute that Whitney was in the video, it was already, it was already over from that joint. Cause we already knew it was over, but with the music video, it already sealed it up for us.
Capped it off by desiccating the Song of the Year award to his high school sweetheart.
And somebody get the broom out. Get that broom out.
Swooped it up.
Part 2, Not Like Us. Whitney in the video, Crip Walker. We gonna dedicate that one. He should get on. Jay liked them walks.
With that, Drake should be treading very carefully when it comes to posting wives and girlfriends online. But it appears if there's one thing he won't do, it's learn from his mistakes. If people still wonder why so many rappers couldn't wait to take Drake down, look no further than this. Now, with his reputation in shambles thanks to his own decisions, even easy targets like Joe Budden, who he recently tried to clown on his alternate Instagram with an unflattering photo, aren't taking the bait. And now, he's of course targeting his co-host Melissa Ford on his new album with Party Next Door. You can't make this up. But more than anything, by once again posting another man's wife on the gram, Drake is playing a dangerous game. Because if UMG decides to fire back, it could be the final nail in the coffin. After all, if anyone knows where the skeletons are buried, it's a man's record label. It's your boy Louaista, and if you need any more content on Drake's downward spiral, believe me, I got you covered. Just click on any of these videos around my head right here. As always, I want...
Hey, shout out to my guy Louaista, man. But yeah, if Drake ain't gonna learn his lesson by now, cause bro, that's like, so it's Nicki at that point, the 4 I saw, and then with the other 2, bro, it's this six times this nigga has involved a lady of whoever he's beefing with or who was point is, if he didn't learn it, I'm just saying, that first initial one where it was with Nicki, his Young Money associate, Young Money for life, I guess, friend, right? You started it off with Nicki of all people, right? You could have just kept it between you and me, but no, you had to involve Nicki in it. Your friend. And because of that, even though you rebuilt your, I guess since that you and Meek are cool, but you damaged your friendship with her. So, Louaista wasn't wrong saying if he did that to his longtime friend, you think he was going to learn his lesson then? Hell no. But hey, shout out to Louaista. Hopefully y'all watch all the way through. If you made it to the end, comment down below comment down below, watch out. Because that's what some of y'all ladies out there in the industry or whatever need to watch out for Drake, because he might use you as a pawn for something. But yeah, it's been your boy HumbleZiggy signing out. Stay positive, keep the vibes up. I'm out.